Hello there, guys. Welcome back to Stewie MTG, and with our two Jeskai deck techs, the first being Kykar here with the Wind's Fury. 4 mana, 1 in Jeskai, blue, red, white, for a 3/3 flying bird wizard. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, you create a 1/1 white spirit creature token with flying, and you can sacrifice the spirit to add black mana. No, I did not go the combo fast mana approach as most do with this deck. This is actually bird and spirit tribal, mainly spirits. With that, let's actually take a look at the artifacts that are going to help us get Kykar and his friends out. We have ourselves a Soul Ring. I have been, in general, in the new decks I make, not including Soul Ring. Not necessarily because it makes unfair gameplay in the decks I play with, but more and more I've been playing 3 and 4 color decks, and I just don't see a slot for Soul Ring in 3 and 4 color decks. We have ourselves an Ornithopter Paradise, Arcane Signet, Boros Signet, Azorius Signet, Talisman of Creativity, Commander Sphere, and our 2 non-mana rocks are Skull Clamp for some card draw, and Mask of Avacyn to protect Kykar. And let's go into our enchantments that help us out with our token creatures. We have Intangible Virtue and Favorable Winds, as well as a Glorious Anthem. Beautiful art. Would go in my Angel deck, but I don't use Glorious Anthem in my Angel decks. Dovin's Acuity. There can become a loop in which I'm casting instants and sorceries and returning Dovin's Acuity to my hand, playing it, drawing the card, gaining the 2 life, and it goes, as long as I've got mana, that bounce back and forth continues to happen, and Whirlwind of Thought to continue drawing the cards. With that, speaking of card draw and other things, let's go into Opt, Brainstorm, Ponder. Clear the Mind helps us shuffle our graveyard back into our library. With this deck, you can very often get through half to 2/3 of your deck. You're just churning through cards. And so we need a way to shuffle that back into our library to be able to replay them. Call to Mind helps us bring something back from the graveyard. Guy's Snatch is a decent counter spell, but you get a Spirit Body token with it. Some token creation in Midnight Hunting, Spectral Procession, Lingering Souls, and the newest edition, Battle Screech. We have ourselves Flood of Recollection, also to return a card from our graveyard. Demonic Nexus to shuffle our graveyard to our library. And the same with Reminisce. We have Flood of Tears as a quasi board wipe. We have a Time Wipe for a real board wipe. A Sleep to tap down. Deluge to tap down. Dissolve a counterspell. Revoke Existence and Disenchant is removal. Tap down with Gridlock and Glimpse the Sun. We have a Dictate of Heliod. Oh, that was supposed to go in enchantments. Sorry. And Arcane Melee to reduce the cost of those instant sorceries, get as many of those tokens out. And a Distant Melody for card draw. Let's take a look at our predominantly spirit creatures. We've got Scorch Ruska, Supreme Phantom, Keening Apparition, non-spirit in Gutter Snipe, because we're going to be casting a lot of instants and sorceries. Might as well get an extra 2 damage on top of that, and this could end up being a win condition if someone doesn't remove it. Mirror Entity to make all those tokens huge. Pilgrim of the Ages for ramp. New addition is Venerable Warsinger. I'm going to try it out. Haven't played the deck since adding this, so we'll see how it works out. Drogskol Captain, Niblis of Frost, Celestial Crusader for the pump, along with Phantom General, as well as a new addition, Quintorius Field Historian, for a buff, as well as when you shuffle your graveyard back into your library, That's cards leaving our graveyard. So we can create a bunch of these 3/2 white spirit creature tokens, I'm hoping. Once again, I haven't played this since the upgrade. Geist Honored Monk for a big buff monk that likes spirits. Same thing here, new addition with Hoffrey Ghostforge for the buff with Trample and Haste. Windborne Drink for a buff. Battleground Geist for a buff. Just also added Returned Past Caller. Return a card from a graveyard to a hand. 4/2 Flying Body doesn't hurt either. And lastly, the Locust God. We are going to be drawing lots of cards. So those extra insects are going to help, as well as he's got a card draw engine with mana on top of it. On to our non-basic lands, we've got ourselves Evolving Wilds, Myriad Landscape, Secluded Steppe, Desert of the Fervent, Forgotten Cave, Smoldering Crater, Mystic Monastery, Command Tower, Blighted Cataract, Halimar Depths, Mystic Sanctuary, Gates of Istafel, Irrigated Farmland, Lorehold Campus, Prismari Campus, Glacial Floodplain, Alpine Meadow, Volatile Fjord, Sajiri Refuge, Saltwater Cliffs, Battlefield Forge, Shivan Reef, Temple of Enlightenment, Temple of Triumph, and Temple of Epiphany, and lastly, the Rustvale Bridge in its foily goodness. Well, this has been Kykar Wind's Fury, and I'm looking forward to playing it. I think in a couple of weeks we'll be having a game night, and I'll make sure to take Kykar with me and see how it does. With that, this has been Stewie MTG, and stay tuned for Gavi Nest Caller.